Hello everyone, my name is Alexei. Welcome to the DP Labs channel. Today I want to take a moment to tell you in detail about the Vostok scooter version 1, and more specifically, I want to focus on the engine of this particular scooter, which we have recently upgraded. As I showed you in previous episodes, I walked you through how this upgrade process was going. There was a particularly difficult moment related to properly sealing the wire exits through the bushing that we installed. We poured this exit with a 2-component polyurethane mixture, but it didn't fill entirely. I don't know why, but yesterday we tested it for the first time, and unfortunately, coolant was leaking quite a bit through the wires. We decided to try to fix it by carefully removing the motor again, creating a strong vacuum inside the motor, putting heat shrink funnels on the wires, and then pouring the polyurethane mixture in there. It seems to have worked well. Today, after it dried completely, I installed it back in place. So far, nothing is leaking. I'm turning on the scooter. It's password protected.
Login. Password.
I'm turning on the cooling system. The pump started working. The cooling system of this scooter is open loop. It has a hose for releasing excess pressure and sometimes excess coolant, which forms there due to the engine heating up and thermal expansion. There's a special tank here, which is divided into 2 parts. If you look closer, you can see bubbles collecting there. All this is done to reduce the load on the output phase wires and the Hall sensors. Now I'll press the throttle and the wheel will start spinning. The weather has cleared up, so we're taking it outside. Safety always comes first, so before we do anything else, we're making sure to put on a protective helmet, and then we're carefully heading out.
About countertops and epoxy. People asked why I went to so much trouble. Wouldn't it have been easier to just cover everything with varnish? Now I'll explain in detail why I went to all that trouble. On this particular table, I really made quite a mess. Here, I was meticulously washing off the old varnish from the motor, as well as from the windings. There was acetone, all that stuff, old varnish, it all dripped down here. And I'll show you how easy and simple it is to clean all this off the table. So here we have some varnish that's already dried on the surface, making it a bit tricky to deal with. Yeah, I'll have to take some extra steps to remove it carefully, since it's not coming off easily. There you go, just like that. Take your time. Well done. That's basically it. The table is perfectly clean. All right, just a moment. Let me double check for you.
Now I want to briefly heat up the motor and show how our cooling system handles it. The motor temperature is currently 30 degrees. Before the test ride, I also want to show how the scooter suspension works. Let's put on the helmet. I'm going to take a ride and briefly heat up the motor. So we've just come back from the ride and we've heated the motor up to 49 degrees. Now I'm going to turn on the pump and we'll see how the temperature drops. So it was 49 and now it's already 40. So in just 10 seconds the temperature dropped by almost 10 degrees, which is quite a noticeable change. Now it's already at 39 and then 38 degrees. The cooling system is working very well. I want to briefly discuss the scooter's dynamics after the motor upgrade. At low speeds, it really hasn't changed much, but after about 35 to 40 kilometers per hour, the power increase is quite significant. So accelerating from 40 to 90 kilometers per hour is really fast. I haven't measured it, but it's much quicker than with the previous motor. So the magnet still made a difference, and we changed the gap, in other words, for the better.